all going to go get neck massages after that. I was thinking about something the other day, Tom. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have played Loki now for 12 years. 15, sorry, add an extra 3. Yes. And 12 episodes of television. How many movies?
6.
And you've died how many times?
Officially 2. Officially 2, but they weren't, well, they felt like real endings, but it turns out they weren't. Dark World, Thor: The Dark World, when Loki joins the fray to save Thor, and then we reworked it, and he was sitting on the throne at the end. And then Avengers: Infinity War was the second one.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe not the last one.
Well, only on that timeline.
Yeah.
What's been so thrilling is that I think the reason I've absolutely loved playing Loki, and it has been 15 years. It's been the most magnificent and emotional roller coaster full of twists and turns. And he has so much range and so much complexity, and it never feels like the same thing. But I know that the reason I'm standing here, or sitting here in front of you today, is that the audience has such curiosity and passion for and connection to him, and I owe that to them.
Sophia, Sylvie has become a huge fan favorite, and your portrayal, and I made a joke at the beginning, but I have to say really that McDonald's in Oklahoma was something. That was really something. For you, the second season takes your character, if you're that kind of a universe-destroying Loki variant in season 1, there's a very different arc for you in season 2. Give us a sense, what was that like for you when you guys came back, and how did Sylvie change for you?
Well, Sylvie's in a completely different space in series 2. Series 1, she's super angry. She just wants revenge. She wants to kill the man at the end of time. And in the second series, she has to deal with her choice. I think she's trying to find some stillness and some peace within herself, and trying to assimilate into like a normal human life, which is difficult because she's an outcast. She's a weirdo. She's not normal, and she has a go, but she doesn't quite manage it. It all gets, ripped away from her, and in the end, it's quite a tragedy for Sylvie, I think. When that new life is put under threat, and she has to fight for it again, and yeah.
I have a quick question for you guys. How many of you have seen season 2? Awesome, there's a few spoilers. Okay, so the universe gets saved, kind of, what have you. Owen, Mobius is, we see, what? Really?
No.
On Disney Plus! Okay, no spoilers. So, you like some athletic wear, and like doing things athletic. When we meet Mobius in season 1, the chemistry between the two of you was amazing, as the chemistry was with you and Sophia. And when you leave at the end of season 1, it really feels like, I felt like, how are they going to make this go more? And you guys did, you really did, with the way the timeline and the TVA, the Thousand of Miss Minutes, all new characters, whatever. What was it like for you coming back? Because they so enlarged the range of the character this time around.
Well, I was excited to come back, and I didn't think of it so much that they kind of widened the range. It's still sort of, I guess we don't want to talk about spoilers, but
the show's been out for almost 7 months.
Yeah. Talk about it. Go for it. Just do it. Just do it.
When the people have spoken, you just tell them.
Just do it.
Well, I think with, in the sort of dynamic between, between us, certainly in the first season, and the way I kind of am, kind of probing and, know everything about his life, it's a little bit flipped in season 2, where Mobius has lost some of his certainty, and kind of you know, was questioning a lot of things. And what you were just saying about looking for some, I like the way you put that, some stillness and peace. I think Mobius is trying to kind of figure out kind of, you know, what he might have been doing on the timeline before. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
No spoilers. Very well done.
Me
Obviously, we talked about at the beginning the history that you've had with Loki and the history, and there's the famous stories that many people told me about you and the Loki quizzes, and the encyclopedic knowledge of Loki.
Pop
Maybe we'll get into it
quizzes.
later.
You just dreaded coming in and getting hit with a pop quiz ruler. No.
I'm going to make an assumption that things have wrapped up. What is it like for you now at the end of that long run with this character who's been so? I mean, you had the success with The Night Manager, which is coming back for another run, and many, many others. But you know, for a lot of people, like I remember being at Comic-Con several years ago when you came out, and that, like, man, that was like the Beatles in Hollywood. It was serious, right?
That was an amazing, unrepeatable, and unforgettable experience. And
You should YouTube it. Trust me.
you know, playing Loki has changed the course of my whole life, no question. And I feel, if pride were permissible, I just feel so proud of where we've ended up in season 2. It was very creatively fulfilling to bring something full circle. I always saw him from the very first film, the first Thor movie. I saw him as a broken soul with a shattered heart who felt like he didn't belong. He didn't belong in his family. He was an orphan. He was adopted. He was on the margins, an outcast. And that's what binds him to Sylvie. They both are. And all that grief hardens into grievance, and the grievance is what drives him to become a villain in the Avengers, and then an uneasy ally in the later Thor movies. And this chance that he's given by Mobius, this second chance, a second chance to rediscover that glorious purpose that he feels he has always been burdened with.
What's interesting is the final episode of season 2 is called Glorious Purpose.
Right, but I think it's because finally he discovers that his purpose is to look after his friends and to give his life for people he loves, which perhaps was always his purpose, but it comes in a shape he would never have recognized and would never have anticipated. And I think it gave a kind of catharsis. Exactly, yeah. He wasn't ready for it.
So spoilers, but there's a big family component to the end of this one.
But I suppose to go from that high status position to this humility, and to discover that humility through a process of awakening and growth and love and friendship, that feels very redeeming and honorific of Loki as a character.
Sophia, one of the things about Loki when the first season came, and certainly in season 2, is the look of Loki is so amazing and distinctive. And you know, when we watch you guys in those environments, I wondered, how does that foster or illuminate you as a performer to be in those environments that just create this? I mean, just that we saw some clips from the final episode up here and stuff like that. I mean, they're visually stunning.
Yeah, and our show is quite different to a lot of these big Marvel shows, in the sense that we don't have that much green screen. It's all real. The sets are real, and we have ceilings on them, which is also quite rare. They don't just stop. Like they're huge builds that they feel like real worlds. So the sets definitely help. You know, you to feel like you're in that place, and the TVA especially feels super claustrophobic because of all of the corridors, and it's all real. You're really there.
It was sometimes exciting when we were going to move on to a new scene and a new location, like what's the set going to look like?
Yeah.
Because when you would walk on, it was...
Like, wow.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think you told me this once about something we were talking about. Like, you know, when you're on a good production design set, like, I don't mean to say, like, you know, you put on the outfit and it's not, but you're not working, but like, you just kind of go there. Like, you open a drawer and there's a TVA magazine in there, and there's all that, like, Was that something you found, Owen? Like it put you in the place?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm just thinking of kind of my favorite sets, and I love where we're introduced to Key. I thought that set, Ouroboros, was one of the best.
Okay, now we have to do the game. Sophia, what's your favorite set?
The World's Fair. There's like an actual giraffe.